By now you should have two lists. One list is things that you enjoy doing, things that you like to spend your time engaged in. The other list is going to be things that you are good at, either things you know you're good at or things that you've been told that you're very good at, skills that you have, or things that people come to you as the go-to person for. So you have these two lists. You should, during this exercise, have already started to see links, so certain activities that you're good at and you enjoy doing. If you don't see anything yet, don't worry. I would suggest that this is probably not because of a lack of skill, but instead a lack of self-confidence or a lack of self-realization that you have certain skills, for example, or even just a lack of self-reflection. You haven't taken the time to sit down and really get everything onto these lists. If you are in this position where you're sitting looking at two very sparse looking lists, fine. I say go back, have another go, hopefully in a different headspace, and maybe sit with somebody you trust who can help you to fill in these lists. And if doing it with someone else is going to make it a lot easier to highlight aspects of yourself that you don't necessarily think of, that are not things that you're not conscious of. For the majority, though, I find people I work with will have already a few links between these two lists. They might have actually gone in thinking, I'm good at accountancy and I like doing accountancy work. So they might have gone in with that mindset already. That's fine. These things will come out through the process regardless. So by now, you should have a couple that are connected over two lists. I'd like you to pick two or three for now, and what we're going to be doing is moving into the next section where we're looking at the market viability. So remember, we had an intersection of three different activities or three different criteria. We had things that we like, things that we're good at, and things for which there is a market. So coming back to that tripartite intersection, if you are good at something and you enjoy doing it, but there's no market, that means it's a hobby. It's fine, you should absolutely spend time doing that, but if you're not going to make money from it, then it's a hobby. It's not necessarily a business. If it's something you can make money from and you're good at but you don't enjoy, that's something that you can start as a business. You can run it for a certain amount of time, but it's not sustainable. If there's no enjoyment, if there's no love for what you're doing, then you might go a couple of years, you might make the money you need to, but eventually that sustainability will run out because you don't enjoy doing it. And so unless you can go into that area, set it up, and then pass it off to managers and move on, I would recommend not going in this direction. So that's there is a market and you have the skill, but you don't have the interest, you don't have the enjoyment. And then the third erroneous way we could start is something that you enjoy doing, and there's a market for it, but you're not very good at it. This is a business that you would start, you might be full of enthusiasm, and then you realize that your skills just aren't up to snuff. They're not as good as the other people in the marketplace, so it's very difficult for you to make any impact. So this is the amateur. This is somebody who is excited. They throw themselves into a certain business, but they don't have the requisite skills, so the business fails. Again, you can remedy this. You can hire talent. You can find people who do have the skills, so you can complement what you don't have. But at this point, you'd be having to bring them in either for equity, so giving them a portion of the business, or paying them a salary, which is very difficult using the lean methodology. So if we're going lean, we need to keep costs as low as possible for as long as possible until we have proved that there is a market and people want to buy our product or service. So we need the intersection of what we're good at, what we enjoy doing, and what there's a market for. We need all three of those to hit that sweet spot. So based on the two lists that you have, what you're good at and what you enjoy doing, we're going to now take two or three of the activities that intersect on these two lists and analyze them from a market point of view. I'm going to show you how we use tools like Facebook to see if there is a market for what it is you want to do. So we'll be moving on to that in the next section, market viability.